Hello, everyone, and welcome. Just getting my settings all configured. Oh, we should be good. There we go. Welcome, welcome. We were going to do something today with our API, but I thought we'd do something a bit more fun. Hello. You're going to have to teach me how to say your name. I am terrible with names. Very, very bad with pronouncing names. I will butcher it. So I do apologize if I try and say your name and it comes out wrong at any point. Hello from Brazil. Oh, welcome. Hello from Wales. Arthur. Now I can say that one. I know that one. Can't get that one too wrong. So, some of you may have heard of Larapeeps. Some of you may not. It is something that I was working on something called Lara Profile, which was kind of a similar thing. Then somebody else came along and started building something called Larapeeps. We've decided to team up. So let me take you to the tweet that started it. Will Twitter let me? Here we go. So a few days ago, Philip started creating this and released this. And I saw it and I thought, that is so similar to what I'm trying to do. Why are we doing something separate? He's already got a better design than me. So I reached out and we've joined forces, basically. And yeah, we're going to be building on it today. So I usually do APIs, right? We all know I do APIs. It's kind of my thing. There's going to be an API for Larapeeps. Of course, there's going to be an API for Larapeeps. And the idea is that you will be able to get data from Larapeeps to show on like your website, for example. Maybe you want to show your specific profile on your website and you want to do a fetch request or something and get your Larapeeps data to show on a badge or something. Yeah, we're going to work on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that. I'm going to start first, though, by looking at how it's currently built, how we can improve upon it and what we can do to make it perhaps better, different, who knows. I'm going to switch over to just code view or screen view so that I can drink my coffee in peace without whoever watching judging me on how I drink my coffee. So we have a repo. I'm using Laravel Herd. Of course, I'm using Laravel Herd. I've got my sites in here. Lots of cool stuff in here. Here's my Larapeeps. This one is no longer needed, but we got Larapeeps going on here. So let's start. First things first, we want to make sure that our appearance is correct so people can actually see what's going on. Let's dive in. Judge me. Hey, Ben, how you doing, buddy? So currently, all of this was built by our good friend, Philip. We tried to build it in Astro. It worked, but it limited us. So yeah, we're going to go back to Laravel and just focus on that. So we've got groups. We're returning a view with a group. We're getting everybody. We're getting the home page. And that's all it is so far. It is relatively simple. If I come over to resources and views, we've got everyone group, homepage, and the layout. There's no real JavaScript going on in here. And all we're using is, I don't even know if we're using Tailwind CSS right now. Let me have a look at how this has been set up. Tailwind CSS through the CDN currently. So we're going to look at seeing what we can do with this to make sure that it's kind of extendable going forward. The first step is going to be, let's slap in Laravel Folio. Now, Laravel Folio is relatively new to me. I've not used it. I can't zoom in. That's really annoying. This browser's great other than the zoom level. Ugh, what's going on? I didn't want that. Go away. There we go. So Laravel Folio is great. I've not really played with it, but we're going to play with it now. Let's just see what we can do. Let's copy this. Come over. I'm going to create a new branch for this. It's not live or anything, but we're going to just call it Feature Folio. And there we go. Let's pull that down. So we can just run an install. Is there anything else? We can list routes, route parameters. There's only one real way of installing it. That's fine. Oh, that's cool. I can do that. Folio path. Cool. So we can just go grab this and say folio install. First thing, git add, zoom in. Hey, always add. Clear that up. And what we'll do is we'll go into warp for this later. We're not going to full screen because that makes things hide. But what we'll do is we'll come to here. Is that more visible? Let's see if we can increase the font size. Tall. Font size. We're going to go up to 20, which means we're probably going to want to increase the line height a little bit. So we'll put it up to like that. So let's close that, come back to warp. Is that more visible? Appearance. Oh, why didn't that save? There we go. You should be able to see that more. So, Larapeeps, and here we are. We're on Feature Folio. So what we want to be able to do is look at stuff, basically. I'm just going to move the browser to this side so I'm a bit more organized. So now this wallpaper, by the way, is a Raycast wallpaper. They are beautiful. Okay, so let's go have a look at our folio stuff. We got Sanctum that we don't really need. We're not doing any auth. We're using Orbit by Ryan Chandler because it's so easy for this stuff. Folio install and folio list. So a folio list. We don't have any routes. So the first thing we want to do is creating routes, creating the index route, make folio index. So I'm going to do this over here so it's separating nicely, which means I can collapse that and focus on any kind of view layer here. What I might do actually is, can I move to the side with this? Shift to split screen, bang, perfect. Now I'm going to zoom in more on this, but folio can do stuff here. So, ooh, wrong one. Page-based routing. So what I need to make sure I do at this point is come over to here. I'm just going to comment all of this out for now. I'm just going to see if folio will do its magic. We have got that, which means that our views pages index is working. So when we're looking at folio, we can do nested routes, index routes, route parameters, which is going to be really useful. Named routes, route model binding, location stuff, middleware, PHP blocks for if we really need it. I don't think we will. Okay, so this main route, we're going to want to create some components, really, aren't we? So we go to components, and I'm going to create a layout. And create a new file called layout.blade.php. Now we could probably copy this. Now that will do nicely. Format that, it's all good. So here's our layout. It's using Figtree. We'll switch away from the CDN a little bit later so that on our index here, what we can do is turn this into an X layout test. We're in. We are in. So here's our home page. Our home page is built up of, we've got main, we've got this header here, we've got this list here, and that's literally all that we're doing right now. So we're going to have something very similar. So if we come look at group, we've got the same thing here. We've got text center. We've got something super similar here. Panning top, slightly different styling, which might not make sense. What I'm going to do, because I realize I'm still during the working hours, is go to focus for an hour, just so that I don't get interrupted. Okay, so we could probably split this into two main sections. We've got a main content, we've got a header, main content within the content. That makes no sense, does it? So let's come to the layout. We're going to want named slots, and I believe we can do that in Laravel really easily. So if we just go to like Laravel docs, and we'll go to named slots, slot, scope slots, slot attributes, inline components. X slot tag, any content. Aha. So I can say X slot within there, title, perfect. That's quite easy to do. Just click done. There we go. So we're going to have header here. Then we're going to have our main content. And then we're going to have our footer is going to be global. So we just put like a footer tag in for now. Now the header is going to be similar. So we can grab that because everything's kind of within there, right? Yeah, everything's always within that sort of layout. So we can come to this. I'm trying not to change the design while I'm doing this, by the way. I don't think it would be beneficial. I'm not going to improve on the design in any way. So why should I try, right? Okay, so that is where we are. If I come back to here, I can come over to this. What I'm going to stop this being a side. Shift to the main area. It's stripping my focus too much. Perfect. So that's in there. Header, slot, footer, cool. So when we come to our index page, we're going to want to say X slot header, and then we're just going to have content within here, for example. Header isn't actually going through. Let's go have a look at these docs again. So view components alert. It's got that in there. X slot, scope slots. Okay, maybe it doesn't work with Folio. That could be the case. I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to have to pass things through all in one block, but that's not going to kill us. So we'll just grab that, remove that, and there we go. So we're going to have probably a header component up here. Let's just create one. So we'll have a header.blade.php. Oh, good idea. That could be it. So there's that. So if I come back to here, I'm so not used to like front end stuff. No, that's just not working. It's saying no, Steve. No. Yeah. That's just annoying me. Okay, so we'll just do it this way. Keep it like that. Stop that. And we'll just create a component for it because we want to be able to kind of change it as we go. So header.blade.php. This will be a header. I'll have a header within it. And here, what we're going to do, we're just going to say X header. Come over to here. We've got a header and content. That's great. So when we look at the home page, we know that our header is just a H1, but when we look at like everyone, we've got more information within it. The main class got padding top and padding bottom. Home page, we just got padding top. So on our layout, we're just going to put PY there. Text gray is 900. When we're in dark mode, text gray is going to be 50. The background is going to be white for now, and then when we're in dark mode, we are going to have a background of gray 900. So refresh that, toggle dark. What's happening? Toggle light mode. Thank you. I need to look at getting Tailwind installed. So tailwindcss.com. I always have to follow the instructions. I can never remember it because I'm just Steve. I'm thinking about too many things to remember one thing. Right, okay, so let's come to here. We're going to install Tailwind. Then we're going to pull this in here. For that, let's do its business. It's so slow, NPM, isn't it? NPM can be so painful. Drink my coffee while I wait. Oh, come on, NPM. You can do this. I believe in you. While I'm waiting, I will just go ahead and set up the CSS. So view CSS up in here. So there we go. Then we're going to want to change it. So we're pulling in this layout. We're going to use that. Installed. Hey! So we'll just run this in the background here. I need to do the npx business, don't I? So npx tailwind init p stuff. Go gadget. Go grab this. Drop it into our config. Drop it in there. Resources, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to have any view files or JS files. We've just got Blade files. And npm run dev. Now, don't die at me. I don't want that. Okay, so now if I come back to Folio, that inspector element, make sure. Why are we still getting CDN Tailwind? We shouldn't be doing that. There's Tailwind there. There's that there. All right, let's just close all of these tabs. Layout. Maybe it's a cache. Network, disable caches. There we go. This should help. Elements, head. Don't do this to me. Okay, I might just have to, I don't know, there's something going on. I'm going to open up Arc. Larapeeps. In Arc. Because I know that works. Never opened it in here. Why are we still getting this? Why? Why are we? God, what's going on? Here's our layout. Is there anything in the docs that could be causing this? Right? Like, no, nothing about layout with this, right? So could it be that my content hasn't changed enough like you get in some places? Back. So we'll just say X layout test or text, apparently. Apparently that's what we're doing these days. Head. Why are you still pulling that through? What is going on here? Layout blade infuse. Yeah, I'm not using that though. That's the thing. Like, I've created a component to handle that. Unless Folio by default loads that without me knowing. Let's grab this. Place that. Refresh. Yeah, it does. So by default, we don't need layout here. Do the refactor, clean up. So there we go. We got what we needed. The PHP class loads the layout. There's something going on in the back end that's causing this. Layout component. This apparently is being used. Not being used. Something's going on that's causing that to be used, which is fine. We can keep that file, and it's no biggie. So if we come back to here, what we have so far in our layout is, let's just kind of bloop that, give that a bit of a boop as well, and give this a bit of a boop. So up here, we're just going to say config app.name or Larapeeps. So that is that. Here's our stuff. Then our header itself wants to be, have we got the max width on the layout? Yes, we do. So it comes to the home page. We're going to have this text centery bit here. This is our next block, basically. Then we've got just kind of like 2 blocks of main content going on, and then there will be the footer. So this header, what we need, if I grab this, actually, I can take this out of the layout, drop that out of the layout, which allows me to then control things a bit better by dropping it in there and having page-specific widths for potentials. So then I can say, C header. No, I want the X header, thank you. Header content. Header. We're not using any sort of slots, are we? No, we're not. Now I'll just put a slot in there. Header content, which then when I come back to here, I can then come down and say page content, and this means Folio is working. Fantastic. Then I can just go ahead and say, okay, come back to that later, come over to here, text center. This is kind of what we want in the header. We want header, text center. And then we want to kind of flex on the slot inside it, I guess. So header, class is flex sorry, items center, justify center. So try that. Fine. So far, come to pages, and within here, we're going to want to just drop some content. So let's take this as an example. Grab this. Then on our pages for groups, undefined variable group, name, and we'll just say description, back name and description. That all works. Awesome. So max width for Excel. That doesn't look like a 4XL to me. Then got our header. Okay, cool. I'll worry about specific styling in a little while. We can pass through content easily there. So on our home page, we want to just pass through like a H1, like this. That is what we care about on this home page. Discover amazing people in the Laravel community. Is there something going on with this? Let's go check it in Arc. Almost like the styles aren't being loaded. That is loading. That is working. Ooh. Yarn dev, yeah, definitely still running. You still need to use XLayout as a wrapper. No, I shouldn't, because that's being pushed to view layout, this layout, this. Maybe, actually, yeah, let's test it. That could be the case. You might be right there. Yes, you are absolutely correct. I don't know how to front end. We are all good. Now we can move on. Okay, so the other part of the homepage is we want to just kind of go through and grab all groups. So we come back to here. This is going to fail, but then we can kind of fix it and find variable groups. Great. So Laravel Folio. What we can do is we can do not root model binding, middleware, PHP blocks. This. So we can do like a PHP block right at the top, which will basically do our Cody code for us at PHP. Ooh, I don't know what that is. And PHP. Okay. Have a look. Make sure that this is loading. Live stream, yo. Yep, we got it. Okay, so if we come back to our roots, how they were working, our homepage, we get a random group. We'll display 4 random avatars for each group, then return that through there. So the way this is going to work is different. This is where maybe something like Vault might be useful, I suppose. Folio and Vault at the same time. Maybe we could Vault, or we'll just Google Laravel Vault because I've not used it yet. Vault. Let's have a look. Yeah, we could easily do something like components for this. Livewire beta, Livewire Vault install. Then we can create a component for like the content, which makes a lot of sense, I guess. So we'll include that. a lot of beta stuff, but you know, one being on the cutting edge. Vault install, creating the components, make a vault, and we will just say group list. Bang. Cool. I want to do API stuff right now. Class-based components, no. Okay, so back to it. Okay, so how do we load this in? That is what I want to know. How can I rendering amount of component? Perfect. Live wire group list. So this bit can be replaced. If I just grab that, I can just go uncomment, drop that, live wire group list. Come back, and hopefully we haven't got any death going on. So which means we can drop that part because we don't need it, and we can focus the logic within here. State. So shame I got to do that. Can't I like use just @PHP to keep it consistent with other things? Oh well, not the end of the world. It's not going to kill us. So got state there. Mount. When we mount, we're going to get counter full page components, but we don't really want to do that. But what we can do is state. We can set some state. Apparently we're using Tate. So here is our state. We are going to have groups. This will be an array. So on our home page, we can just grab this, come back to here, replace that perhaps. Ooh, root tag. Okay, so we still need to keep that part here within the group list because it needs that root component. Which is okay. That is easy enough to fix because then we can just delete that, and just bring this back a line. Meaning that now works. Yeah, so I've put the stream on 720 because if I put it up any higher, it really struggles. I can't change it now that I'm live. The only thing I can do is change my face quality. Okay, so we've got that live wire group list. What we will do is we will just use this for now. Like this. Here, we can just say use app models group. Use app models person. It allows us to do that. Then we can just say groups, and hopefully group not defined. That's fine. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just going to remove the actual linkage, and we've got them again. Bang, bang, fantastic. We are loading stuff. We are doing stuff. I wonder actually. Screen resolution. This one. Can I set? How do you even do this? Share resolution list. That's my default. I'm going to drop it down to that, and hopefully that helps with anybody viewing. stream. So now we can just npm run dev. Come back to here. This should be better for you. This should also be better for you too. So let me collapse that. What's going on with the console? Favicon. Not bothered about favicons right now. Right, we've got designers, maintainers, and YouTubers. That's 3 groups. These are all using Orbit as a database by Ryan Chandler, which is absolutely fantastic. This is doing all of this. There might be something that we can do to kind of simplify parts of this, but right now I'm just going to focus on getting it into Folio. So we've now replaced that homepage. So this homepage can be gone. We can delete that route. We no longer need it. And we can delete that file. That is good. Next, everyone. So let's look at everyone here. We want to just create a new route for like everyone, which is basically just a big old listy list. Is this doing any sort of pagination? No, it wasn't. Okay, so let's come over to the Folio docs. No, can't see anything pagination. Creating routes. Make Folio everyone. There we go. That is that part. We can then pretty much copy this into here, make the changes. Up here. That's a group list. And then we just want like a person list. No, I really don't do dark mode. I'm anti-dark mode. Let's just go to everyone. Awesome. That's obviously a bit yuck, but we can fix that on the header component by going like this. Attributes. I really can't type today. Merge class. That is the default. That works. Cool. So then when we come over to everyone here and we do the header, we can just say that our class is FlexCol, I believe. There we go. And if we go back to the home, it's back to normal. Fantastic. We've got a reusable component. Now, everyone, what happens in here? Order by name, get. So we're going to come over to here. And we need like a make Folio, make Vault. And we're going to create one called people list. So on our everyone page, we can just call this one people list, which is that. So on our people list up here, we can just kind of use that. Person. That'll bug me, so I'm going to have to do that. Like that. Then we want state. We want our default state be people is or actually we'll stick with the naming, right? That's all fine. So now on everyone down here, for each peeps is peeper. That might be a bit of a strange name. Okay, we won't do that. We need to grab the one. Need to grab that as well, I think. People list here. And we'll just drop that format. Done. For each peeps of person, we got peeps. We got some peeps. So what exactly we want to build today? I am building Larapeeps. I'm basing it off of Philip's original plan, which is somewhere. Can't find it. Gosh darn it. Here it is. This. So the idea is to create a comprehensive list of all the amazing people that are active in the Laravel community, neatly organized into lists, each with links to their own socials, GitHub, website, etc. Now, I started building something somewhat similar. 100% go follow Philip. He is a absolutely awesome legend. I'm going to drop his Twitter in here. You should all go follow him because he is an awesome dude. Really good with design too, which is really helpful for this sort of thing. So yeah, that's what we're building. And the reason I'm doing it right now is because we're going to have an API version as well. So I'm just pushing it all to Folio and then I'm going to add an API. Basically, is what I'm saying. So we have now got the people list doing the kind of the same sort of thing. So group list, everyone. I can now remove that everyone root and remove that everyone view. Do the refactor. This might break stuff. It hasn't. Good. So let's just close everything down, come back to where we were. We've now got group left. Like we want to view a specific group. When you click on a group, you should go through to that group. So we need to create a new folio page. Nested roots, creating roots. How do you do the named roots? You can just really easily just add a name up the top. That is so handy. I'm just going to go through and add that quickly up here. So PHP, end PHP, name. Is there like a function? Yeah, Laravel folio name. And we're just going to call this home. I can grab that, add this, say everyone. And now I want to create a new folio page. Make folio to like view a group, right? That's kind of what we're doing. So if I look at the roots quickly, group /group. So I kind of want to make like I am going to change the root parameters a little bit there. So we're going to want to say like groups. Not that. We want groups. And this will need to be in quotes. You can say groups / group slug. Bang. Group slug. So at this point, we've done root model binding. So here we should have like a group ID or group name. We might have to like get a name for this root up here. So group. So then on our index where we are listing the groups on our group list, let's come back to here and let's see if we can go root of groups. My brain today just is group. And we're going to pass through the group slug. So if we come back to here, let's go back to here. Root group not defined. Okay, so folio list. Why is it not picking up names? That is what I want to know. Folio. Let's come up to the top where it's got this stuff. Named roots. So using the name function. So I've actually done that. So it is. Okay, so let's try optimize clear. Folio list. Come back to here. Root group not found. Why is it not working? I know it's in beta, so yeah, it could be something to do with name groups. Add root name to folio list command was merged. Merge as a commit. It's not actually picking it up. Adds name function. Okay, so folio name. Okay, make sure I'm definitely pulling this in. Come over to here. Folio name, yes. Okay, we'll do it in their way. Folio name, just in case it's specific. Then set the name. Now, if we do it again, a root list, we're still not showing the name for this. So we're going to have to old school it for now. Not what I want to do, but it's what we'll do until we can figure it out. So we are just going to grab this and we're just going to say our root is group slug. YouTubers, core team. Perfect. We've got something. So next, what can we do? Let me hide that and come back to here. What we want to do now is group. We want to have a kind of live wiry component maybe, or maybe we don't need it for this because we've already got the root model binding going on, pulling it in. So we can come over to web. We've got the relation stuff, so we can just grab that, come over to group, and we could say something like group equals that. How do we get like the current bound stuff? Let's go look at the model binding docs again. So here we should have access to that straight away, but it's not. It's going to undersquiggle it. It is definitely going to undersquiggle it. Let's just add that in there. Have a look and see what we get. User streamers, cool. Okay, so now if I come to the group, I can grab this as the header content. So we can say X layout, X flex col. Drop that in there. Next, we can grab that and should be able to just drop that in there. We also going to want to say use illuminate support string because we're pulling that in. Let's just have a look. Refresh. Hey, here I am. And it goes to your Twitter profile for now, which is fine. So that means web remove group remove. Keep. Yeah, I can delete that now because I've got something in it. Drop. Keep. Don't need to worry about that because I've got something in it. Components, Livewire, pages, layout. Beautiful. So let me close all of those. We've now got, it's kind of working the way we want it to. Everything is up, it's running. And web, we could just go, don't need that. We'll keep that open just in case we want to add web routes later. Not likely, but you never know. CSS, JS is all loading. Let me just go make sure that I am loading in the JavaScript just in case we want to use like Alpine, for example, maybe. So let's go JS, come over to here, and we'll switch that over to JS as well. There's that. Thanks, Steve. One more thing. How do you show the current URL of the page on Arc? Like you press Command T and it shows the current URL. I mean, oh, Command and L. Like if you come to your browser for here, Command L will do that. On Arc, Command L will do the same thing. If you're using Sigma, for example, hugely recommend Sigma. I can press Command K. And I've got Command Palette. Could do all sorts of cool stuff from the command line. I can say Command left, open up my panel. Command right, open up this. I can start to go tags, reminders. Yeah, so many cool things that you can do with Sigma. It's based off of Safari WebKit. Got some good extensions. It's good. It's good. Definitely try it. I can say, cool, enter focus mode. Leave focus mode. It's lots of cool stuff. So that's that part done. Next, that is super useful. But how about as an API? What might I want to do? What I'm going to do quickly is just say git status, git add, commit using Folio and Vault and switching to beat for Tailwind, etc. That is all done. Right. Our API. It's likely that we're going to want to get a person. We're going to want to see our profile, right? So let's start scratching this out a little bit. We're not going to want that. That's for sure. Let's remove that. So root get peeps slug name. I'm going to put this inside a controller. I like to keep this logic in here, so I can just say peeps show controller public function invoke. This is going to accept the request and a string for the slug. And what we want to do is we want to get the peep with any potential relationships, then return the peep, but awesome. So again, like I always do, composer require Tim Mack, the main man who created JSON API package. Fantastic. This isn't going to be fully kind of JSON API style because I'm not going to do filters and includes. It is a simple endpoint to grab your profile. That is the purpose of it. So here, the peep is going to be the person query where the slug is the slug first or fail. Handling failures, perfect. Potential relationships. So this doesn't have relationships. I don't know if there's something with Orbit that you can do this. So Ryan Chandler Orbit. Yeah, sure, have my location. Why not? What's the harm? Flat file database, and what we could do, find a schema, storing content. Drivers, disabling. So that doesn't work. But on our group has JSON relationships. Okay, for some reason my monitor just went dead. So if people are saying anything, I apologize. Really should replace that monitor. Okay, so it looks like we can't get relationships as a peep. We're just going to have to live with that right now because of how we're storing it. So what we want to do is just return the peep. So make model, don't be silly. Make a resource, a peep resource. A peep. I'm sticking with the naming. This isn't public yet. We wanted to make sure that we have what we're doing correct before we make it public. Probably going to be public a little bit later, to be honest. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hook this up and we're going to test it. So show controller, only one we really need. Come over to here. What we're going to do is create a new request. We're going to go to http Larapeeps.test API. Did I prefix it? Peeps, yeah, I did. Peeps, Steve McDougall, because I know I'm on there. 404 not found, apparently. Oh, wait, no, I think he called me just Steve King on there. There we go. We got something. So, bang, we got it. So what we can do with this is come over to our peep resource. Just declare some strict types there. Make this final because I'm Steve, is what I do. Going to drop that. Turn this into a JSON API resource. This. Bang. Come here. Property read. Person as resource. Attributes. Attributes that we're going to want to return will be an array. Oh, this is so fun. So nice. I'm going to do this. So let's go look at the person. What do we have? We have a name, slug, bio, X stuff and kind of like linkages. So name. This resource name. Now what? Bio. Add the bio. This resource bio. See what's happening. King, bio, person. Then we've got like the X stuff. Ooh, just undo that. What we're going to do is we're going to say X. I prefer to call it Twitter, but that's just me. Suppose I should get with it, right? X handle avatar this resource X avatar URL back to here, send that. I've got it again. The other things that we can do is we've got like GitHub and website. So we'll go to here. We're going to say GitHub is going to be the URL is going to be this resource GitHub handle. Okay, so we're getting the handle. Cool. Handle. We can figure out the URL. Don't really need to. And links. Website. This resource URL. And this will expand over time as we start to get more information. We come back to here now. Perfect. So if I come over to the content, for example, and come down to people, come down to me, like this. X handle, GitHub handle is the exact same thing. Website URL is https www.speaking.uk. X avatar URL, that's coming through there. Bio, the dude with a beard. Bang, done. We now have what we need. Type people, name, bio, handle, cool. Name, I'm going to change this to my actual name. I want to keep the same slug. That is all I need for that. So there's my PPDP resource. I am going to want to return this as a response. So HTTP responses. We're going to call this a resource response because we're just returning a singular resource. Implements responsible. Add the method stuff for now. Public function construct private read only. And okay, so we're going to have just to do like a JSON API resource for the data. This is going to return a JSON response. Return new JSON response where the data is this data, the status. I'm not going to put my packaging because I'm not going to use lots of different statuses. I'm just going to use a Illuminate one. Sorry, the Symfony one. Allows me to do that. Headers. I'm not going to have too many of these kind of responses that I need to pass through. But I can say content type is application Larapeeps dot API plus JSON. We'll call it a day with that. And what we actually need to do is make sure we respond with that first. So let me grab this, come over to here and say return resource response, new resource response, where the data is that this returns responsible. Fantastic. That is all there. I can now just grab that, drop it in there because it will just kind of handle its own failures. That does that. We can come back and that's still working. So what I can now do is come over to here, say laravel.com, laravel.com docs. What I want this to do is catch headers. They are. So if I come back to my API, what I can do is root middleware. These are all the things I'm going to want to cache. So let's just use a function here, return nothing, grab this, stick it in. So if we go have a look at this response size, 31.7 milliseconds and 363 bytes. We're not actually speeding it up that much by using any sort of e-tags or caching. Cache control, public, e-tag, great, chunked, keep alive, all that good stuff. Got rate limiting on it because we just do. That works. That's perfect. But when we talk about APIs, there's so many different types of content. Like, okay, let's look at another example. I want to start using my, I don't know, an image from Peep to start displaying my avatar places. So, okay, so let's say we're going to do a root get Peeps slug avatar. Or, we could do like a .png, for example, but we'll just go for /avatar for now. Name, show avatar. Actually, no, we're going to call this Peep show. Peep avatar. Give it a bit more of a fun name to it, right? So come to controllers, Peeps, and we're just going to say avatar controller. This public function construct. No, invoke. I do this all the time. Invoke. Gonna want to pull in that request. And we're going to want to pull in that slug. I'm going to do something of the same sort of thing here. But what we're going to want to do is return a new. We don't have the file locally. So how could we do this? We want to, realistically, we want to go response stream. And the callback that we want to stream, is going to be basically this x_avatar. That's kind of what we want to do there, right? So let's go make sure that's all hooked up and we can improve upon it. So let's go here and say avatar controller. Simplify that. Come over to here. Grab that again. Create a new one. And just say avatar. Let's see what it does. call back. That's returning a string, isn't it? Ah, okay. So we're going to want to say, I don't know, I'll get contents of that. Let's see if that actually works. File name must be a type string. Darn it. Okay, so you get the idea. We will look at doing this basically. I'm pretty sure I did have an avatar on there. Pretty sure I did. Ooh. No bites. We're not returning anything. Okay, so let like the URL. For now, we're just going to drop that. So this. What happens if I just do like a GET request on that? I get the image back. Headers, max age, must revalidate. Content type is image JPEG. So if I've got the URL, they're like a file. Have a look. Let's have a look. File does not exist. Okay. I'll have a play with this, see if there's a nice way for me to do this. There might be like a new binary file response where the file is that maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of playing. There's got to be a way to do this nicely, right? That's not working. I'm going to draw a line under it there, and we'll pick this up next week. But yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, as usual. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay awesome. Like, comment, subscribe for our next videos. Have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.